Are you ready, my dudes, for what should be the finale of Need for Speed Underground? Now, as you can see here, I've swapped out the Mazda RX-7 for the Nissan Skyline GT-R. I figured this would more or less be my best choice for our final 3 events, and I've also made a couple of changes to this thing as well. Changed the paint, also changed the bodywork. So, changed the front bumper and the rear bumper. Also changed the side skirts. I've kept the spoiler the same because I didn't want to change that. Kept the hood the same because, well, obviously it's Samantha's hood. And the roof scoops have not been changed either. I've changed the colour of the rims, also changed the look of the neon underneath. Changed it from, I think it was a yellow pulse neon to a gold pulse neon. Headlights are still the same. I changed the tail lights because, well, the other ones, well, they look a bit ugly. So I switched over to Crimson because, well, with this car at least, this one I'd say, this pair of taillights I would say is the least repulsive. Muffler is still the same, also changed the window tinting as well. So in terms of paint, I switched over to this as my main colour. Also changed the colour of the rims from blue to yellow. Spoiler, I changed from red to green. The engine accent, I changed that back to red. Brake calipers, they are also blue, I think. And the muffler tip is also the same. I also changed a few decals here or there. So, I changed over from Sparko to Plasma Glow on both the quarter panels. And I also changed a few sponsors on the, well, I changed one sponsor on the left and right doors as I changed from Nitrous Express over to NOS. And last but not least, I changed the vinyl as well, and I changed that over to, which one was it? I did have it in here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I switched over to Custom Vinyl 6. And yes, this was the vinyl I had on this thing. So yeah, Custom Vinyl 6. I was also trying to see if I could maybe get my numbers to align again, but at this stage, well, I honestly don't care. I also just noticed I've got more than 2 million style points. But anyways, yeah. So we are sending off the game with the Nissan Skyline GT-R. I'm also going to get one more photo of this thing in case if I missed anything. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I will take another snapshot just to be sure. Okay, let's now finish the game. As we begin with Good Samaritan. 5 laps of Port Royal Reverse. TJ messed up Samantha's ride. Beat him to get it back and make amends. And if I win this race, I will get 12.5k if I win this on hard. So yeah, basically, we do have to race TJ in order to win Samantha's car back. This, by the way, is the part of the game where we do make amends with Samantha. And basically, yeah, I gotta say, that thing does look a bit ugly compared to Samantha's original livery. But either way, that's why I'm here to save the day. That's why I'm basically here to save the day. Or at least try to. And off to a good start so far, even though I did wind up running straight into a car right before taking the shortcut, and immediately pulling away with the lead. TJ does not really look to be a contender for this thing. Compared to my Skyline. And the snap oversteer occurs once again. Fuck you. I will make sure you pay dearly for that. Oh, son of a bitch. The snap oversteer moments are just occurring now all of a sudden. Well, at least I can say the car doesn't really look faster than it was the first time I raced it. So, I'd imagine this is not going to be too hard. And he's not taking the shortcut this time, so... this is probably going to be my best shot to repass him for the lead. And he wrecked himself. Well, at least I can say that's a fair amount of payback, and I am glad to say he did pay the price for it. That's kind of what I was wanting him to do. I was wanting something to just literally put him out of sync, and I fucked myself. Well, good thing this wasn't a 3-lap race, otherwise I would have been livid. But fortunately, we still have time. I'm gonna make sure TJ pays for what he did. The car doesn't really appear to be that fast, but I just really want to get my revenge on him. Ha! Get fucked. Okay, I'll take that. I will gladly take that as my revenge shot. Considering he literally just bulldozed me a few laps before. I did feel vengeful over that, but it's only because I knew what he did was... it's only because I knew what he did was intentional, and also because, well, I wanted to at least make him pay once. And that, I think, in my opinion, is appropriate payback. And now I am pulling away with this thing. So providing I don't have any more snap moments of oversteer, which is basically what I do get with a lot of cars in this game, I should pretty much be good. Even though I wrecked right at the line, but it doesn't matter because I beat you, bitch. As I beat TJ to the line by 3.7 seconds. So overall, not too hard to win. And, hey! We now get a choice of body kits. As a result of us winning Samantha her car back. Okay, let's get a look. Select the unique body part of your choice. Well, Vapor doesn't really look to be that impressive. I think I'll go along with Mantis, because this one looks like it makes more sense to me. Yeah, I'll go with the Mantis body kit because it makes more sense to me. Sure, why not? I'll save the game here. I might also consider getting another thumbnail whilst I'm at it, just because of this, Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we've managed to beat TJ at least. So whilst I'm here, I'm gonna get a shot of this thing with the body kit. Since we got Samantha her car back, I might as well get another thumbnail shot just whilst I'm here. Okay, that should do it. Alright. One race remains. Wrath of Eddie.
Thanks for getting my ride back. Things are sure different now. But I see that with you, it's all about racing. That's all it's ever gonna be. Unfreaking believable. Stuff Magazine is doing a feature on street tuners. Want a picture of your car with a hot chick on the cover? Better win.
Samantha, I will make sure to do this. Alright, let's do this. It's on. Go, head to head against Eddie in a crosstown battle for racing supremacy. Win to prove you're the hottest driver on the street. Alright, let's go. The last official race of the game. Let's see how we do. However, we do get something else that follows up from us winning this race. Okay, over to you, Mr. Cutscene.
Let's do this! It's on!
So we are now racing Eddie for the official Street Racing King title. And if we can win, we'll get on the cover of Stuff Magazine. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, whatever took place on that previous attempt did not just take place. And even if it did, it basically deserves to be expunged. Because it was not an official run. So this is my first attempt at this race. And where hopefully this time around I can manage to keep up to speed with Eddie without getting caught out by the game's very sudden oversteer physics. And because this car is four-wheel drive, well, I honestly can't say I'm that surprised. And Eddie is now past me for the lead temporarily. Oh, he's in the wall. And I now take over the lead. Now I need to use my nitrous. But luckily Eddie is not behind me, so I'm going to go around the outside because this seems to be my preferable choice, and there we go. I've won Wrath of Eddie, as I beat him to the line by 2.7 seconds. Alright, we've taken down the Street Racing King. And we're now on the cover of Stuff magazine. Let's now collect our reward as well as our winnings.
Oh man, you did it! You won! You won! Heads up!
So yeah. So that was not our last race, because there's one more event we need to do, and ultimately I'm gonna take a look at Stuff magazine and see if it's on there. I think this is it.
Check out your car on the cover of Stuff. Freaking amazing.
By the way, the opponent we're going up against now is called Melissa, and she will officially be our last opponent here in Need for Speed Underground. Legend of the Street. 4 laps around Market Street. Although before we do this, I am going to save the game so I don't lose anything. And we can now get on with this and see how we go. So let's now begin our final race of Underground mode. Legend of the Street. Whoever's driving that mean 350Z wants to take you down bad. Don't let it happen. I won't. Plus I'll make sure to keep reloading the game if it does happen more than once, but from what I've established, these last couple of races, they've not been quite as hard to win. And I do reckon I should be okay with this. Plus, she's driving a 2-wheel drive car, I'm driving a 4-wheel drive car, so I reckon I should be okay. But let's see how we do. As I was taking that one all the way to the rev limiter. But anyway. So 4 laps of Market Street. I'm pretty sure this will not be too hard for me to win. I get the early jump because I'm using a 4-wheel drive compared to Melissa's 2-wheel drive car, and I gotta say, this body kit actually fits quite well on the Skyline, if I do say so myself. And all I gotta do is make sure that I stay ahead of Melissa. Here, by the way, is the girl that we're up against. Getting a little bit loose there on the jump, but able to correct it. And traffic is not too much of an issue here. It is not busy. She does briefly take the lead away from me, but I should be able to reclaim it. Oh, and she's wrecked herself. She probably didn't realise there was a shortcut there, and she overshot it. Well, I guess that means I've now got the race lead back again, and I've got a temporary advantage over the .350Z, which, by the way, of course, is another Nissan. I, of course, am driving one Nissan, whereas Melissa is basically driving the other Nissan. Well, there's multiple Nissans in this game, actually, but these are just 2 of them. So across the jump once again, hitting the bridge at 176, and past the gas station once again, and we're now halfway there through the final race, and I just hit a taxi. And I narrowly avoid botching myself again with the tram. And right now, things are actually going pretty well. Especially considering how I had that brief little blip, but it's okay. Because once I've beaten Melissa to the street racing title, we've managed to dethrone Eddie, so basically just got to do the same again with Melissa, but I will be the street racing legend, as I'm gonna use some more nitrous. And I really thought for sure I was gonna go into that median there by the gas station, but luckily, however, I didn't. And just resetting my car because, well, there was a car that interfered for a second there, but it's okay because Melissa is behind me. She's clearly made more mistakes in this race than I have. And literally, the game just decides to give me another one of those snap oversteer moments. Even though I was not doing anything to cause that moment of snap oversteer that just became inflicted on me. But it's okay, because we're so close to the end now. Providing I don't make any more mistakes, this race should pretty much be a done deal the way I see it. Melissa is behind me. I don't think she's going to get to me. Okay, smooth on the exit, and there we go. Victory! I'm the street racing legend, baby. Melissa came on strong in that final lap, but I was able to fend her off long enough for me to walk away with the dub. And I also put on a pretty cool vinyl as well to make up for it as well. So yeah, I also put on a pretty cool vinyl to showcase it as well. So another 12,500 is in the bank, and I think that's pretty much it regarding the overall gameplay, but I will have to show off the bonus cars, so you know, there is that. Alright. You know what? I will save the game because this is basically the end. I can probably continue racing in quick race mode, but I don't really feel like it because underground mode is done, which basically means we can now do nothing unless we create another profile.
You did it! I can't believe it! You won! You won! Is that your fantasy?
Congratulations, you have completed underground mode. Everything is now unlocked in quick race mode. You must create a new driver profile to start a new underground mode. Okay, so we can basically do nothing with our car now because we've basically done everything there is to do. We can't even customize our car anymore, which I think sucks, but then again, it doesn't matter. Top of every race rankings. I also got on the cover in the end of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 of 27 magazines. And in terms of our stats, 47 circuit race wins with under 500,000 style points. 33 sprint race wins with 159,000 style points. 30 drag race wins and 21 drift race wins, with a total of over 1.4 million style points. And these are our final stats. So, 131 wins in 162 starts, 18 losses, an overall win percentage of 80%, and 2,170,342 style points, and 648.75 total miles driven. The 80% win ratio, by the way, is only there because of the number of times I reloaded the game early on. I know this is probably a stat I clearly don't deserve, but again, I don't care because the game is done. So yeah. There we go. Underground mode is done, and it kind of sucks to say that we can't go back and do any of the races that we've already done. You know, maybe try and see if we can do a cleanup or something, but again, doesn't matter. We're top of all the race rankings, got most of the magazine covers, and I scored 4/5 in terms of my overall win percentage. Pretty impressive considering everything that went down in the later stages of the game. But yeah, there we go. So, that was NFS Underground. And now, I'm gonna take a look at the cars we unlocked. I think I can access these through Customize Ride as well. Unless it's only in Quick Race, but we'll check and see. It must just be in Quick Race. Okay, well, anyway. Let's go to Quick Race, sure, Circuit, why not? And let's check out the bonus cars we unlocked. Because, yeah. I think this is where we start. Okay, so this is Samantha's Honda Civic, ironically, the car which we won before taking down Eddie, before we took down TJ, who basically messed up her ride. So that's our first car. The next one we get is the Rob Zombie Nissan 350Z, which actually looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I also think it is quite cool to say that we do get the artists in the game who actually get their own unique cars. We also get my Stickle car, which I think is meant to be another one. I think it's pronounced Mystical, by the way. So these are basically the cars that we win from playing throughout the game. And this one is the Lost Profits car. This is basically a Skyline. And hey, it's got a carbon hood. That is pretty gnarly, if I do say so myself. Does anyone even use the term gnarly anymore? Well, I don't know. And last but not least, there is also my car. I guess the game wasn't willing to give me Eddie's Skyline, but then again, I'll have to check this whole thing to be sure. Unless it's at the front, in which case I don't think it is. Yeah, probably isn't. Oh well, it's fine. Because what matters is the car I used to complete this game. And yeah. So I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this game overall. And I'm just gonna go back to my stats to do my final thoughts on the game. So yeah, there we go. That was NFS Underground. And I gotta say, this game overall, it is a worthy entry for the franchise. And even though it was a change of pace at the time compared to the Need for Speed scene, which up to this point had mainly been about sports cars, muscle cars, and supercars, this game basically changed that over to the scene of basically hatchbacks, hot hatches, sports cars, and, well, basically Japanese import cars. Excuse me if I burped, I just had a sip of water. But overall, I believe this is a good game altogether. It's definitely earned the rightful distinction of being regarded as a Need for Speed classic. And I can happily say that I've officially played through and completed this game again. I had a really good time playing through this game, but I wouldn't say it's quite as good as Hot Pursuit 2. I would regard this game as definitely being in the top 10 best NFS games ever, but top 5, well, I don't think it's quite in that league. But that doesn't mean to say this is a bad game in any way. Far from it, in fact. But I really do think that altogether, I had a good time playing through this game. There are some races on the hard difficulty which do tend to be more irritating than others, especially when you know traffic is involved. And I gotta say, traffic did basically become the precursor of deciding a lot of the race losses I had, as well as also regarding some of the restarts I had, but again, I don't really care about those because I reckon if I hadn't done all those game reloads I did from the mediocre performances I had in between, I reckon my win ratio overall would have probably been somewhere in the mid to high 60s if it wasn't for me doing all of those game resets. And believe it or not, the last time I actually played through this game, the win ratio I got at the end of the game was 64%, so it goes to show just how much better my stats look than they actually deserve to be, but again, that's just me. It was also kind of annoying to say that there were scenes with a lot of these cars in the game, particularly the four-wheel drive cars, where you basically just had a sudden moment of snap oversteer just happen to you all of a sudden, even if you're not necessarily doing anything to cause the oversteer whilst you're driving at high speed. Once the game just decides to literally throw you into those snap oversteer moments, you've basically got no chance to save it. It also would have been helpful if, regarding the game physics, if they were able to give the player more of a chance to actually avoid the oncoming traffic, or at least have indications of some sort telling you where precisely the traffic is positioned, because I'd imagine I'm far from the only one who has this sort of problem, but again, these are just my thoughts. I reckon that is another area they could have improved on, but sadly they didn't. Another thing I reckon they could have given us is a chance to basically go back and see if we could correct any races from the underground mode which we didn't win before. You know, giving ourselves the task to clean up any losses that we might have had and basically trying to correct the errors that we probably made earlier in the game and making it so we could actually go back and do something. I also think there could have been a completion percentage as well, so, you know. This is just coming from me, but I do reckon a completion percentage probably would have made this more helpful. Although technically speaking there is the progress bar in underground mode, so I guess that probably counts for something, but whatever. I also really like how, from playing through the game, that you actually get to see yourself winning custom cars from the style points that you earn, as well as also from winning certain races. If you do get the style points together, you can actually unlock other cars, which I think is actually pretty cool. There's probably a couple I missed out, but I can't really say I'm really that bothered about them because, well, I just came here to complete the mainstay progress of the game, and that's precisely what I did. But overall, good game, good cars, traffic and handling physics, they could have used a little bit more work. I also think the snap oversteer moments bug, that probably also could have been removed, but well, it is what it is. But overall, this is a good game and I do recommend you play it. Alrighty then. So now that Underground 1 is done, the next game we're going to be doing is the follow-up to this game, and that is NFS Underground 2. A game itself which basically continues the storyline onwards from the first NFS game, and where we basically wind up being in the middle of another city which goes by the name of Bayview. And well, because this game had sold over 10 million copies on the shelf, EA thought it was only necessary for them to give the Need for Speed fans a sequel the following year, and that's precisely what they did. So, Underground 2 is the game we'll be playing next. But as for this... a big thank you to everyone for watching. I always appreciate the support I get on this channel regarding views day in and day out. Whether I do or don't deserve them, it's entirely up to you. And, you know, do those things you kids normally do, whatever it is, yada yada yada. And, yeah, until the next one, I'm Jordan Mustang 87, saying again, thanks for watching, and see you for the start of Underground 2. Okay, bye.